What's up, everybody? Welcome to the rLounge. Mother-in-law wants husband's ex-girlfriend to be our surrogate. Hi, I'm a 22, and husband is 25, and mother-in-law 40. My mother-in-law has never been a very accepting woman. She used to accuse me of turning her son, even though he was the one to pursue me. But I thought we had put all the drama behind us. So he and I have been married for 4 years now. Mother-in-law recently found out we were looking into a surrogate since significant other's father doesn't know how to keep his mouth shut, came home to mother-in-law sitting on the couch. I didn't know she still had a key. With her feet propped up on the coffee table, with her shoes next to them on my table. She knows things like that get under my skin. She does it whenever me and her argued in the past. Just puts dirty shoes anywhere, on pillows, in the fridge, on counters. So she clearly was already looking for an argument. I didn't say anything, just greeted her. The only thing she said was that she needed to speak with me and the significant other. Then, when the significant other reached home, she told us her grand idea of how his ex-girlfriend from high school should be our surrogate. We immediately shot her idea down, but she pushed on, saying how wonderful it would be. She apparently had already contacted her, and for whatever reason, she agreed. Mother-in-law and ex-girlfriend mom have been friends for years. She got really mad when we kept refusing. She started crying, said I was the evil person who didn't want her to have a connection to her grandkids. When we asked her to leave, she started banging her shoes on everything as she walked towards the door. Then, she tells the significant other to think about it, since she knows I'm corrupting his decision. Our first reaction comes from Affection Ad 5373. Time to change the locks, disinfect the table, and lock down any future information. Fanny B. Gaslight has the next comment. That woman is nuts. X is also nuts. That woman won't respect you as a mother. She doesn't respect you now. Your husband should stick up for you. If he doesn't, please don't stay longer than you need to. The shoe thing is the most basic of hygiene and manners. I can't deal with that. Good luck. One more from A Bit Sheepish. This is revolting. Why do you still talk to her? And why the hell does she have a key to your house? This woman shouldn't be allowed within 20 meters of either of you, let alone allowed to waltz into your home whenever she feels. F that noise. Next story. Time to walk away? My mother-in-law has been slowly declining since the birth of our son in 2011. She became depressed when her son and I got married. But with the birth of our son, the only grandson at the time, everything has gone downhill. Due to my medical background, my husband and sister-in-law, who live in New York City, requested I do health checks and organize her medications. Fine, I was happy to help. But she would cancel appointments, refuse to take meds, out and out lie about even the small things. She would ask me to take her to an appointment. I would make arrangements and take off time from work, only to have her say she didn't want to talk to the doctor and she canceled the appointment. This has gone on for 10 years, but really has become intolerable since 2018. She's incredibly manipulative and she says she can't do anything for herself. Change clothing, walk, cook, but she can sit and watch TV all day. And her kids, especially my husband, swallow that bull. She called for ambulances 10 times in an 18-month period, only to be admitted on 2 occasions, usually for bronchial infection or dehydration. This last hospitalization was due to an infection, and of course, I was the first person she called. I took her to the ER where she ended up having a true medical emergency. After discharge, she was placed in rehab. Ultimately, she could not return home for safety. For whatever reason, I am the go-to with staff. I moved her from rehab to assisted living. Hubby said he couldn't take time off. I'm off in the summer. And was there for the move-in meeting. We get calls weekly about concerns they have. Got her in regards to her I can't attitude, refusing bathing, refusing to let anyone brush her hair, and over the past 4 weeks, falls. Coincidentally, 2 of these falls were on days she had appointments and verbally said she didn't want to go. Then, oops, she slipped out of her wheelchair. These were not witnessed. She was found on the floor. Today, we had a meeting about her care with the doctor of nursing. She reported that the nurses believe she threw herself on the floor. She refuses to leave her room and tells lies to staff to avoid doing anything. She has an excuse for everything. My husband continues to make excuses for her. He believes she's this weak, fragile woman, but in the meeting, her physical therapist said she can walk and tests 4 out of 5 on leg strength. She told lies, and I confronted her with what the nurses reported, and she denied. My husband immediately took up for her and called staff inept. I don't know if I'm ready to walk away from her, him, or both. If you made it this far, thanks for listening or reading. Our first opinion comes from Conscientious Moron. Yes, it is time for one of her children to take responsibility. You have gone as far as you can, and a lot further than you should have had to. They need to deal with her to get a true picture. You shouldn't have the responsibility. It's no win for you. Good luck. Sky Diamond 01 chimes in. Remove yourself from any parts of her care. It's beyond time for her own kids to deal with her. Take a long vacation by yourself. You deserve it. Sofa Queen thinks, first off, have another meeting with the doctor, mother-in-law, and all of the siblings. Tell them you are making a final decision on her care. Move her up to the memory unit because she needs more care than assisted living is giving her, and you are concerned about her falling. After you say that, tell all the siblings and the employees that you are done being the advocate for their family, and have one of the siblings fill out the paperwork to be the contact person. You have done more than your share. It's time for her kids to take care of her needs. Go live a happy life. Next opinion from Desktop Chill. Tell the nursing staff to get her tested for Alzheimer's and vascular dementia. Either of those things can twist an already manipulative mind into some really wicked actions. And yep, nope yourself out of the game. What will likely happen is they will work to get her medication to control her, and she will end up a drooler zombie of her former self. It's easier to control her. The state will step in and warehouse her. Her children should feel guilty as hell for not listening to your concerns or the staffing. Being old and ornery is one thing. What she is doing is beyond that. Get her tested and see what is suggested for long-term care. DOP replies, that's exactly what I asked for today at the meeting. Good call. Her daughters feel she's just depressed and my husband thinks it's a neurological issue for sure, but doesn't feel she can do things for herself. I told both she and the mama's boy that she will end up in a nursing home, not the cush studio apartment she has now at the assisted living place. I tell her she has to try to move around and make some effort, but he immediately says she can't. She's too weak. I can't win with this. He won't listen. He's also an asshat with me in general, so this situation just ticks me off even more. One more comment from Pinky Flamingo. Time for a deadbeat husband and his siblings to attend meetings with the nursing staff and her doctor and plan her care going forward. You should be thanked sincerely and allowed to step down. Next story starts off like this. Mother-in-law brings strangers around my house when I'm not home. I recently discovered that my mother-in-law has been bringing her friends and coworkers around to my house while my partner and I are at work to give them tours of our garden. It's nothing special, just a vegetable garden, but she has been bringing people who I have never met around since we moved in, over a year ago. I only found out because apparently they weren't impressed with the weeds I have let grow around the side of the house. I told my partner, and he told her she is not to come to our house when we aren't home without our permission. But she got away with it for so long, who knows if she's still doing it or not. I'm considering setting up cameras. Gotta Love Him has an idea. I'm a fan of motion-activated sprinklers. Cameras are a must nowadays, but the sprinklers are the icing on the cake. Our next thought comes from Blue Carnations 12. What happens when significant other and you, while facing her, asked, "What the hell are you doing, Mom? Why do you think it's okay to bring strangers on property that is not yours?" What was her response? Locks on the garden gate? She cannot get into your home garage? Cameras are a good idea for documentation. DOP responds, my partner spoke to her. I have tried to speak with her before and she ended up ringing my partner at work. Crying, saying I was being mean to her. I told her she was being rude. So he deals with her and I deal with my family. But she was very unapologetic about it, saying she doesn't know why we would care unless we had something to hide. Our next story is titled, Home Overrun with Mothers. Hi, I'm a 24 female married to a 27 male. So apparently my stepmother-in-law and father-in-law are getting a divorce, and she has invited herself to stay with us, which then triggered my mother-in-law to staying with us because, in mother-in-law's words, "How dare that tramp," stepmother-in-law, "think she can spend more time with her," mother-in-law, "grandbabies than her." Both of these women are nothing but toxic. They have been fighting non-stop. The only time they stop is when they gang up on me for something I've done wrong in handling my kids. Twins, 8 months old. My husband is no help. Granted, he's accustomed to this BS. He refused to kick them out when I asked him to. I have been belittled, talked down to, mocked, and ignored for the past 2 weeks. They have no comparison for when I get the twins to sleep. They just yell at each other for waking them up. Husband just says it's not that bad, but he sleeps like a log. Today, he comes home all smiles saying he has a surprise for me. That surprise is my mother. He flew her here like she's any better than they are. She hates my stepmother-in-law with a passion. I'm so fed up, I don't even know what to do with myself. I'm ready to just go to a hotel with my kids. Update. Hey guys, I've decided to check into a hotel for the time being. Late last night sealed my decision. One of our boys spiked a fever of 101. He was screaming and crying. I couldn't soothe him. Mother-in-law screamed in my face to shut that dang baby up. Significant other defended her, saying that she's just tired. Like I haven't been tired every day for the last 8 months. My mom got into a shouting match with mother-in-law and significant other, while my stepmother-in-law screamed about how she was trying to sleep. Everything was just too much. I'm not proud to say I took the twins, sat in the car and cried. I don't think I have ever cried so hard in my life. Thankfully, the fever went down and both of them are getting some sleep. First reaction from Destiny89 becomes me. Go to a hotel and let hubby know you'll be back once he F's off all of the mothers. And remind him that you're meant to be in a partnership, and if he ever pulls that crap again, you'll consider divorce. Next thought from So Anonymously. What the ever-loving F? Is your dear husband trying to kill you? Who thinks having every stepmom, mom, mother-in-law in the house at the same time is a good idea? Especially when they're JNs. Read your dear husband the riot act, and then get a hotel. Let him deal with them. One more thought from Restless Dragon. Pack the kids and go if you actually enjoy spending time with your mother. Take her with you. Tell your husband you'll be back when the house belongs to the two of you again.